Yo guys, what is up? Well, welcome back to a brand new video here today on the channel. Today, as you can see, we're back at one of my favorite little juicy ponds to see if we can't get on some big summer bass. Let's get right into it. Oh, little bass is going right up to it. He's got it. Got him. That was so sick. I casted right up in there with this little frog. I saw this guy come out of the grass, chase it up, and absolutely annihilate it. I came out here kind of searching for big bass, but I saw so much action up shallow that I had to throw in this little Lunker Hunt pocket frog here. Let's get this guy unhooked and back in the water. It's number one. I'll take it. All right, guys, number one on the day. That was a pretty sick little eat. Let's get this guy back. There he goes. I just came up here. I was fishing for big bass initially. I saw a bunch of fish up shallow kind of surfacing all around the bank. So I had to tie on just this Lunker Hunt pocket frog. This is a tiny little hollow belly frog. It's great for small little ponds like this with a bunch of vegetation. I'm going to go around pretty much this whole bank and try to find some fish, some aggressive topwater eating fish that might want to bite this. Then I'm going to slow down, probably pick up a Mondo worm, a 10-inch Mondo worm, throw it out towards the middle on a Carolina rig or a Texas rig, and go after some of these big bass. But it's a good start. I will take it on the little pocket frog. Let's get back in there. All right, let's see if there's a fish underneath this tree right here. Yep, there's a fish right there. I knew it. I knew it. I'm gonna let him run with it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Got him. That was so cool. That was so cool. Little guy. I'll take it. I'll take it. It was a little guy, but I absolutely killed it. And look how he's barely hooked, even after I let him eat it for all that time. That was pretty sick. I saw a fish surface right underneath that tree. Of course, I pitch in there. It's not a giant, but he absolutely cranked the Mondo worm. Let's get him back. All right, bass number two right there. That's pretty cool. I'll take it. There he goes. All right, I mean, at least we're kind of putting together a pattern. I've gotten a few bites here on this Mondo worm out in some of that deeper water from possibly some bigger fish. That's what I'm gonna keep doing, kind of dragging this, popping this along the bottom in some of that deeper water. But I did see something surface right up in that shallow area, right under that tree. It's a perfect spot for a fish to be hanging out in these low light situations, just waiting for something to pass by to eat. And of course, that 10-inch red bug Mondo worm. This is my favorite color for Mondo worm. By far, the red bug color. Perfect during the summer. Let's get back in there. Let's try to get on a big one now. That's fish. There we go. There we go. Number three. On the little swim bait, absolutely cranked it. I just felt him tap at it. All of a sudden, there was some weight on my line. That did not take very long. It's probably the smallest one of the day, but that's at least giving me some confidence with this swim bait. Just switched up to a little Googan Baits 3.3-inch saucy swimmer on a little 1/4-ounce jig head. A few casts in, we've got our first fish. That's a good sign. Not a giant. Let's get him back. All right, guys, that's fish number three right there. Let's get him back. There he goes. That is fish number three on bait number three here. Got one in the fry, we got one on the Mondo worm. Now I switched up to a little moving bait presentation. Since we've got a little bit kind of low light, sun's going down, maybe for an evening little bite here on the swim bait. I'm gonna throw it up and around all of this timber. Hopefully we can't find a big fish. It's one of my favorite baits to throw during the summer. You can really fish this super fast up over grass lines, or you can super slow roll that, even hop it up off the bottom, depending on how aggressive these fish are. Anyway, it's a good third fish of the day. Let's get back to fishing. There's gotta be a fish under here. Whenever I come to this pond, there's always fish underneath this tree. Yep, got him. Yep, I knew it. That was a decent fish too. Probably the biggest one of the day. Not a giant, but I'll take it. I mean, that is just instant. That was maybe 2 casts after that last fish there, and he just cranked it again on this little swim bait. Absolutely cranked it. Let's get this guy unhooked and back in the water. He wanted that bait. All right, guys, that is fish number 4 on the day. We're definitely putting together a pattern That was a huge frog right there. We're definitely putting it together a little pattern there with that swim bait. Seems like they want something a little bit faster moving. They definitely want something a little bit faster moving. Like I said, there's always fish underneath this little tree that I just casted directly into. But that is for fish number 4. Just get back in there, get another fish right here. Let's go. All right, it's gotta be a fish out there. Just want one big bite here. We've gotten on a few fish. I think we figured out what they wanted. Now we just need to find a big one. I might switch up to maybe like a big swim bait. Maybe put on even just like a slightly bigger 4.8 inch paddle tail. We'll see. Anything to get on slightly bigger fish. But this 3.3 inch, even though it's pretty small, it gets on a lot of big fish, especially during the summer. There's always fish in this spot. That was so cool. That was so cool. That's the biggest one of the day for sure. That was so cool. I was literally waking that on top of the water, and this guy cranked it. It's definitely the biggest one of the day. It's a solid fish right there. Look how he's barely hooked. Literally waking that bait on top of the water. And this guy just came over and cranked it. Let's get down to another little spot, release him, and get back in there because we don't have too much time. But they're definitely eating the swim bait. Let's get him back. All right, guys, that is what, fish number 5, definitely the biggest one of the day. Solid, maybe 1.5 pounder. I will take it. Let's get a nice little release on this guy. There he goes. That was pretty sick. There's always fish in that spot. Pretty much every different little spot I pull up to with a little bit of cover, a little bit of grass, maybe a little grass line, there's fish. And I was literally waking that bait on top of the water because there's so much timber in the water. I didn't want it to get stuck up into that up into those sticks. Of course, did not matter. Biggest one of the day, not a giant, but a solid fish. Came up and cranked it. There's something else bubbling up out there, so let's get back in there. Let's pitch under this. Just saw something surface right out there. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Was that a big fish? I can't tell. Oh my God, dude, it's not a big fish. Yo, but that was crazy. Get up here, buddy. It's still a decent one. Oh my gosh. That's another, solid fish, if I can get him up here. Settle down, buddy. Settle down. Anyway, that was so cool. He came up and ate it. That was literally 2 casts after my last fish. Came up and ate the swim bait right at pretty much the same spot, right at the bank. That was crazy. Well, they definitely want the swim bait. That is 4 fish in maybe 10 minutes. That was crazy bite. Let's get him back. All right, guys. Well, I think we've stumbled upon a little pattern here. I will take it. Like another, not a giant, but a nice little fish right there. Let's get a nice little release on this guy. There he goes. That was so cool. I'm gonna cast right back in there. I saw something bubble up just a little ways out. Of course, I pitch in the swim bait, and he eats it. That is 4 fish on the swim bait, in probably 3 or 4 fish on the swim bait in a matter of just a few minutes. It's non-stop, and 2 fish on back-to-back casts pretty much. I'm gonna keep casting right in this spot. Something about this spot is holding a ton of fish, and those are the 2 biggest fish we've caught today as well. That's a perfect little cast there. There's gotta be something roaming right around the edge of that tree. Yep, got him. Another decent one. What is with this spot? Oh my gosh, another decent little fish. These aren't giants, but they're solid little fish, and they're stacked in this spot. That is crazy. I had to go, I was about to leave. I had maybe 15 minutes to fish, and of course, I tie in the little swim bait, and it is a feeding frenzy. That is pretty much 3 back-to-back casts with a fish. Not a giant, but that's another solid one. Let's get him back. All right, guys, that's 3rd fish in the spot. Is that number 7? He's one of the craziest little feeding frenzies in a tiny little pond that I've ever had. They're not huge, but they're fun, and they fight hard, and they're eating the swim bait. If you guys want to know what I'm throwing here, that fish finally took off my bait. Just a little 3.3 inch saucy swimmer right here from Googan Baits. It's one of my favorite little presentations for little ponds in the summer. I can move this super fast above grass lines if I need to. I can also slow it down, just hop it up off the bottom, or just creep it along the bottom around some timber and find some big fish. Just got a little 1/4 ounce jig head. Just got a little 1/4 ounce jig head right here. Something small, finesse. I'm just cutting off maybe the first centimeter of that bait to get a flat edge with some pliers right here. And that is all I'm doing, just rigging that up, normal, on your jig head. And for whatever reason, especially in this spot, they want it. So let's get back in there, and we still got a little bit of time to maybe find something big. But that's pretty crazy bites right now. Let's get back in there. I just have to believe that there's some big fish that are willing to eat this. Oh my gosh. That was so cool. Oh, it came off. That was so cool though. There was a fish that came up, busted on top on something, just maybe like a little insect, frog, maybe a bait fish on top. And I reeled my bait in right to it and he ate it. It wasn't a very big fish. That was such a cool bite though. I mean, I reeled it right. At first I thought he was blowing up on my bait, but my bait was probably 10, 15 yards further out than that. Of course, I reel it right up to where that fish was, and he ate it. That was, yep, something's got it. Got it, there we go. That's a decent fish. Maybe not, it's fighting hard. That could be the same fish that ate it a few casts ago. A little guy, but I'll take it. I mean, we are just cranking these fish right now on the swim bait. Let's get this guy back and get on a bigger one now. I believe that is, what, fish number 8, maybe 9, 7? I don't know. A lot of fish in the last couple of minutes here. Let's get him back. There he goes. I think I'm just gonna fish around maybe this other side of the pond just a little bit. I don't have too much time to fish because the sun is setting, but I got to take advantage of this kind of crazy bite window that we're having where they're just so aggressive. I feel like if there's this many fish biting, there's got to be a big fish that's willing to bite as well. So, I mean, I've got to give it a little bit more time. Let's get back in there and get on another one. There's one, there's one, there's one. Could be a little bit bigger. No, just a little guy. Hard fighter though. There we go. First one on this side of the pond. It's a decent little fish too. I'll take it. Absolutely cranked it. Just came over to this other side of the pond. Tried to find some more fish. Walked up just a little ways of the bank. And we finally found one. That's exactly how you want him to eat it. Perfect hook set right in the side of the mouth. He was not going anywhere. That is, what? Maybe 8? I think. Might be a little bit off, but solid one. Let's get him back. All right, guys. Nice little one. I'll get it. I'll take it. Let's get him back. There he goes. That was pretty cool. Just came over to this side of the pond, found a little open clearing. This is a spot that has a ton of fish usually. Cast it out towards the middle area of that pond, and he absolutely cranked it. There was a big swirl, something chasing little bait fish right there. Yup, oh, I had a fish. I've got something now, it's a little guy. What the heck? There was something big chasing bait right there. I'm just gonna throw this guy back really quickly. This is not that fish, but I'll take it. Oh, let's get him back. Just got a few, oh, there he goes. I've just got a few minutes right here, but there's something big that was chasing bait. I saw some kind of flickering bait fish, little bluegill, minnows, and I saw something big swirl on top. I'm sure there were some other small bass in there too, but there's definitely something bigger as well. Whoa, something big. There's something over there. There's a little feeding frenzy right there. Something else big. You can see all those bait fish coming up. Oh, I've got a little one again. Oh my gosh. I wonder if that same fish just moved over there. Oh, there we go, another little guy. Get back in there, little buddy. Little guy. Little hot dog sized bass, but there's something else that keeps feeding right there. Another little feeding frenzy. I mean, you could see all those bait fish coming up, rising out of the water. And then I saw some big swirls. Oh, another fish got it. It's another little guy. Oh my gosh, dude. They're going crazy. But there have been some big swirls. That's really what I'm trying to focus on. That's why I'm kind of releasing these guys so quickly. We'll get you a better look at that one. Just a nice little healthy fish right there. Eating some bait fish. But I'm kind of coming down to this last spot right here where we can hopefully find some big fish. There's obviously fish feeding. There was 2 fish right in that spot that were willing to eat. So let's get back in there and hopefully find a big one. All right, guys, well, that's gonna about do it for today's video. I'm just kind of taking a few little casts as I walk down this bank. But it's getting pretty dark out. The sun is going down, pretty low light now. We definitely found quite a good pattern here today with the little swim bait. Got that first one on the frog, that pretty cool eat. Got another one on the Mondo worm. But the star player of today is obviously this little saucy swimmer. Got on some sort of feeding frenzy. These fish were fired up. We didn't find a giant like I was hoping for, but we got on quite a few nice fish. I think we got maybe 10 or 11 total just on this bait. So I will definitely take that. But as I said a few times in this video, 3.3 inch saucy swimmer. This is just kind of a translucent color. I'm not sure exactly what the name. I think it's called electric shad if I'm correct. And just a little 1/4 ounce jig head. And I are cranking it. I'm gonna take a few more casts as I go up this bank. But that's gonna about do it. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe down below if you're new to the channel. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.